So I was talking to one of our restaurant marketing partners today, and he made a good point. So when we were talking, he was like, "Hey, I want to be able to show this AI chatbot to some clients that I'm going to be having a meeting with tomorrow." So what we did is we created him real quick a couple chatbots that he could demo. But his question was, "Well, that's great, but I want to be able to make a whole bunch of demos and go out and get people and then talk to them on the phone." So that's what we're going to do. We're going to convert what we originally created for him into a restaurant for his restaurant marketing agency. We're going to put multiple bots in one so that he can do more than one demo, because we don't want to keep giving him chatbot accounts without paying for him. So this gives us the ability to give him one, and then he can do all his demonstration work to sell the client, and then we'll install the full platform if the client decides to sign on. There's a lot of ways to make money. That's not what this video is about, but there's a lot of different ways to make money. We're keeping this platform low cost for a reason. We want to have you be able to sell this and hopefully do more restaurant marketing for your clients, because our platform will make it much easier for you to put these things together. You won't have to struggle with setting up flows and setting up comment automations, and it's all done for you in our software. All you do is put the information in and it works. So it's pretty neat. But this is just like before. You don't want to set that client up with all that up front without them paying you. So we have a setup fee you have to pay, and then we have a wholesale price that you pay. Now, if we sold this to a restaurant directly, that pricing will be listed on our website. So we expect you to add on to that price that we're giving you, and that's why we give you the discount. We realize that you are an important part of this, and there's a lot of ways that you can make money from this, and we'll be adding more things to this as we go. I'll be doing another video probably tomorrow to introduce the entire platform and how you as a restaurant marketer can use it to make money. Or if you're a restaurant and you want to get into this stuff, we can show you how to do it too. So here we go. So this is the main chatbot platform. You can see we've already got some context, some activity around here. These are just your statistics and stuff like that. I probably won't pay too much attention to that for your demo account, because this is really just for that. And like when you're using our other platform, the one that we built for restaurants, you don't even need to come into this one that often, because everything's controlled through our platform. And the parts that you need access to, we have built into our platform. So it's handy. You don't have to go out of this platform here to go into this platform, because the parts you need are already here. So this is kind of like a precursor. This also, if you have any experience with some of the legacy platforms out there, I don't want to name any names, but you know who they are if you've done chatbots before. This completely replaces those, and I have a feeling they won't be around much longer. So let's roll into this. So this is what we give you, and so this gives you the ability, like I said, to go out and demo this AI chatbot to your clients, and it shows them that they don't have to lose customers anymore because they can't get to the chat to answer a question. And so it's really helpful. I mean, this is just one thing we do, and to me it's a small tiny thing that we do, but I know it's super important, because I know restaurants don't answer my questions when I ask them for sometimes hours, sometimes never. And I get it. They've given up on trying to keep up with the influx of messages. And so our platform solves that. We're not going to do that today, but we are going to build a chatbot that can answer Mob Boss Pizza's questions. So this is the most basic bot there is, I think, but it's super powerful. It's amazing what it can do for just two little old flows that, when you see how simple they are, it's hard to believe. So we're going to go into the welcome, and so the welcome is nothing more than a picture that I created in AI, and then I asked it to give me a chalkboard that I could put my logo on. And so that's what they gave me, and I love the knife part of it. I think that's just great, because I did tell it that this is Mob Boss Pizza, so it made it as a mobster. And then, of course, we had to have a little fun with the welcome as well. So that is all there is. This is just the welcome, and then the user asks questions, and it goes to the default reply after that. And so let me just, whenever you see that yellow line, that yellow dot there, you just want to publish it. I don't think I changed anything, but it gets, if you go into it, it wants you to save it. Which, okay, I'll do that. It would have helped if I clicked flows. But I clicked welcome again. So, all right, so then we have your default reply. And so this is it. This is my default reply. So it's OpenAI, and then I display what it said. So let's look at this real quick. I'm not going to get deep into this right now because we're going to take this over to the other chatbot. So this is using the Generate Text Advanced, and I'll show you there's just different options in there. So, but this is the one we typically use in text-based stuff. We give you 3 million tokens, so 3.5 Turbo 16K is fast, and it's inexpensive. You'll probably never go over 3 million tokens unless you're doing a lot of heavier lifting things with some of the other AI stuff. All right, so that's my prompt. I'm not going to go over this now. You can put stuff in the user message if you want to. But right now what that is just the last question that the user asks. Sorry, I've got a little something in my throat here. All right, and then we're going to save the reply from the question and the information into AI reply. The triggers we're not going to worry about. There was one there. I deleted it. Remember conversation. This is a one bot per customer bot, so we leave remember conversations on. Temperatures, how wild and crazy you want the bot to respond. 5 is in the middle. 9 is up on the upper ends. I've never gone over 9, but you do you. I know a few people that went up to 1.1, but and then of course you go down if you wanted to stick to what you got up here. I always wipe out the maximum number of tokens. Just don't think it's necessary, so I get rid of it. So that's it. It's going to ask a question. It's going to look at information. It's going to spit the answer out here. The success and failed, I wouldn't worry about for demo accounts. Those are backups in case OpenAI goes down. We can set up a success and fail action. The fail would be use another model other than OpenAI. We have Google and also one other one in here. I forget the other one, but it's in under the integrations. Normally I would know right off the top of my head, but for some reason it is out of my head right now. All right, so the only other thing I'm going to do with this account is get rid of it because we no longer will need it. So when you delete an account, if you ever do, you really don't ever have to because if we had to delete it, we would. But unless you're not paying, we would never delete your account. And we probably wouldn't even delete it then. We'll wait for you to come back. All right, so now I am in the actual Restaurant Marketers account. So this would be if you would say, okay, I want to do more than one demo. This is how you would go about that. So you would have our original account, like I just showed you, the 2 flows would be in your account. And you're going to have to duplicate those flows and make them like I'm going to show you here. So I've already done this so we can go a little bit faster. So what I basically did is I had the 2 templates from the mob boss here. I had the welcome and the default. So the first thing I did was rename these so I knew that it was mob boss welcome and then mob boss default. So then I have my 2 templates for them. And then what I had to do is duplicate each of those. So I did one of these, which I did the Mexican restaurant. And then the restaurant marketer did the other ones, which are the Windy City. So I'm going to show him how we get this to all work. So let's go in. You're going to see these are a little bit different than they were in the last one because we're doing a multi-client bot here. So you can't use Instagram and Messenger if I didn't mention that already because you can only attach an account to each of those accounts. So that's an Instagram and Messenger limitation. So each paid client you're going to want your own chatbot platform for, and you're going to want us to install all the stuff we have pre-done for you anyways. All right, so first thing we're going to do is remove the tag. So if you're going to create another one of these, you're going to have to duplicate it. You're going to have to put a tag down at the bottom like we have here. So this one is for Windy City, so we added the tag Windy City. What you're going to have to do is come up here and get rid of the tag Windy City. What this does is every time you hit the welcome, which is always one time in the beginning, it will remove any tags that it currently has and then say the welcome and then add a tag. And that tells us which default reply we are going to go to. All right, it's as simple as that. So you make your own images and all that. Oh, I didn't save that. which again, I don't think I made any changes there. I'm just kind of showing you guys what I did. So you're going to see that through all the welcome messages. So we'll look at the mob boss because that's the one we looked at before. And all we've done is remove the tags, and then we added the tag Mob Boss Pizzeria at the bottom. Again, with our friendly Salvatore the Sauce Man. All right. Oh, I didn't. Again, with the yellow dot. So whenever you're going to leave it, just remember to publish it. It's easier. Unlike me, you got to go back into it. Okay. So I think you guys see how you do that. You just duplicate your welcome and then make sure you change that tag at the top. And don't forget, you got to go back through all your welcomes. So if you got 20 restaurants in here, you got to add all 20 of those tags and do all that fun stuff. So as you're done with people, it's probably a good idea to delete them and then delete all that stuff so you don't have to have managed such a huge load. All right, so let's look at the default reply. So this is the one we brought over. And so there's not much here we do other than we clear the custom field once we say it. So only reason I did that, oh no, we're not even doing that. There we go. So just watch that if you make sure that you'll have a variable in there. So I'm basically giving the answer, saying the answer, and then clearing the answer out. It's not necessary to do that. It's just a safety because this is a demo, and I'd rather have it cleared out than not. So I do that. Same thing on every single one of the default replies because the default replies are always going to be different. They're for the customer and what they want to reply. So this one is for the Mexican restaurant. So you'll see we don't have as much detail in this one, unlike the other one where we added a lot of detail, which I'll show you that one in a second. I'm just going to kind of go through. You can pause so you can see this. But this is the whole prompt, and it's basically not a whole lot in here. It's their menu. And things like that. So what I did is just go to their website, get all this, and bring it in and have ChatGPT make me a consolidated version of all this so that I can put it in my AI chatbot, and I tell it exactly that. I tell it, make sure it's detailed enough so you can answer all the questions. Don't forget to leave the pricing in because you want to answer that, and then so on and so forth. So there we go. We're going to put that in the AI reply, and we're going to have no to remember the conversation, and we got that for a 0.5. So let me show you, we'll publish that, and let me show you now the mob boss default reply. So this one's a little bit different. I don't think we went over this last time, so this will be good to go over. And so this one, I just want to take you into the prompt. So you'll see here my prompt's a little bit different. And again, just pause if you want to read this. But I'm instructing this one pretty well with what I want it to do. And so you can see there, I tell it what it can answer, what it cannot answer. I told it very important. Personality and tone I'm giving it this one. So I want to be specific about what I can say and what it can say and not say. I have the temperature up pretty high on here, but of course, if the client wanted to be a little bit more racy, that's up to your client. I just didn't want to do that for this demo because I don't know these guys, but I wanted to make it fun enough so that you realize that you can make these a fun experience. So mobbed up responses. So I basically think what I'm doing is just giving him examples of the way to say things, and then I give him some examples. So what are your hours? And I say mobbed up answer. So up there I'm telling it what is mobbed up, and then down here I'm actually giving it examples. So it won't ever say any of this thing word for word. It's just going to take it as an example. And then the rest of the information all the way down through. And now you can see here I have my temperature on 8. All right, so I'm really pushing it for that one. Okay, so now what we need is a master default reply, and that one we have is right here. And as you can guess, if you're a chatbot builder from the legacy platforms, we're going to take those tags. And so the way we do that is we came down to this plus sign and we clicked add these condition. And so anytime you want to start a condition, you can come over and start it right there. So that means this would be the start of this instead of this. Now we're not going to do that because I already have mine done. So we're going to give the start back to this and then delete that. All right, same thing with this. I'd usually put these start a flow down here and then connect from here to there. And then obviously select my flow. So this is pretty straightforward. If the tag is the Mexican restaurant, you're going to go with the Mexican restaurant default. If it's the Windy City, you're going to go to the Windy City default. And the Mob Boss will go to the Mob Boss default. All right, so that is all set. And now that we have that all set, we're going to go to settings. And one of the things I always check is I always go over integrations and make sure that this button isn't on, because that always sometimes throws me. I'm like, why am I getting this answer? I know my stuff's right. And I come in there and that's on. So if you look in here, it's got that. So of course that's gonna be yeah, that's all it's gonna know. So just make sure that's off. And then don't forget, originally we used the default here. Remember, we had a default in the original. I don't know if I showed you that or not, but this is where we set our default. And this is going to be our master default reply. So basically, any question that comes in is going to hit this first. It's going to check to see what tag it's going to go to, and then it's going to send it to that default reply. So that is how that works. And you just make sure you save that, and you're good to go. Okay. So back over to our flows now, and so this is, so remember what we did here, we did not remember these conversations. So in this particular case, the bot will not remember, and I'm going to show you a fail-safe way to make sure the bot doesn't remember. So in case you're demoing it multiple times. So you're going to want to come over to we'll do the Mexican one first. We're going to click on these three dots and get the link. We don't want to do the preview. The preview is only for you for testing. You're going to send this out for somebody to use. Let's use the real link. So we only really have the web chat. Omnichannel means if you had other options here that would ask the question before going to the bot. We're going to stick with the web chat pretty much always. I do anyways. I don't use Omnichannel too often, but it is there if you need it. So I'm going to copy the link for that and then close it. And I'm going to close that. And I'm going to bring the link up here. So you could email this, you could text it, you could send it any way you want. And so what I always do up here is I do LC equals 0. You can see it already filling in for me up there because I've already done it once. What that does is it does not load the prior conversation. So it gives you a fail-safe to make sure you're never loading the same conversation. So as we load that, we'll get the restaurant results partners up at the top because that's the account for this. And then, of course, the restaurant. So the first thing we're going to say is, what is your location, assuming you know their location, because this is while we're testing the bot to make sure we're getting the right response from the proper bot. And so you can always ask it, what is your name, because we instructed it the name. All right, so it looks like we are good to go. We've got this bot. It can answer all our questions, and we can send it off to the client. One thing that's really cool if you have a Mexican restaurant to show them is create some questions and have them pre-ready to load when you're demoing this to them that are written in Mexican, because the bot will respond in Mexican, and they get a thrill out of that. So that's pretty cool. So that's my one bot. So let's go now to the Mob Boss one, and we're going to do the same thing, get the link, copy the web chat, and then we're going to put that up there. And again, we're going to add the LC equals 0. So load chat equals 0. So we're not going to load the past chats. And there we have the boss. And so, hey, Bucko, what kind of beers you got over at that joint? So we know we got a mob boss, so we might as well play this game, right? Forget about it. You got any good pizza? Didn't really get my forget about it. So we'll just go with got any good pizza. I heard your wings aren't that good. Is that true? Hey, pal, our wings are top notch. So you can see it has a little bit of the mob flavor to it. So that is basically it. Of course, your inbox is going to be over here, and you're going to have all the chats from all the different bots in here. So you could show that if you wanted to. It's in our interface, so the inbox is always within our interface as well. If you're working with us, you would know that already anyways. All right, so that is how you go ahead and take your account and turn it into a demo machine for restaurants.